continue our talk, many have done surveys that the lay leadership or the lay people in many instances have more faith than their spiritual leaders. And the reason for that is that when you are fed a diet of biblical criticism, that perhaps the Torah was written by 7 different authors and put together in a patchwork of editing, and that events recorded in the Bible may or may not have happened, or certain people may or may not have existed, when you approach the Torah from that vantage point, then the history and the tradition of our people become tainted with not just secularism, but the thought process of those professors that the rabbi has learned from. About 55, 56 years ago, a young man began having terrible, terrible physical discomfort. He was studying in Yeshiva University. And he began having terrible, terrible pains and emotional problems as well. He went to the best doctors to no avail. Finally, someone told his father, there is a man in Brooklyn by the name of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Go seek out his counsel. The Rebbe spoke with the young man for about 60 seconds, asked him to step out of the office, and told the father, your son is being torn. By day he studies the Torah in the purity of the belief of one God, and at night he studies history and anthropology that tears away at all of the fabric of his beliefs. And the two worlds are tearing at him, and he finds no personal peace. The father took the young man out of the college part of Yeshiva University, and the young man returned to health and became a strong Jew and a functioning part of society. Changed his major and became a professional. The Rebbe recognized that even in a yeshiva setting, when you have a rabbinical student whose faith is torn, you have a confused and difficult rabbinical candidate. Now, this is in an Orthodox university. Just imagine what goes on in the mind and in the heart of a rabbinical student in Cincinnati or in JTS. They live in two worlds if they believe. And if they don't believe, then the results are worse. You have a rabbi who has no belief system at all, leading people who want to believe. And that's the reason why when Jews get together, and get together at times when the safety and security of millions of Jews are in peril, why this individual here found to his shock and dismay that the only person invoking God's name at a rally of thousands of Jews in a synagogue was a Christian minister, talking about the special role that God has chosen for our people. We are a few days before the holiday of Shavuos, where 3,320 years ago, the Jewish people said, we choose God, and we choose to obey God's laws. We chose God, and then God accepted and chose us as his chosen people. It's time that the lay people rose up and protested as to what has happened to their Judaism. Their Judaism has been stolen by the secularization of the rabbinic process. You cannot make a rabbi by teaching him agnosticism and atheism. Either the Torah is true, and we have a basis for its truth, or it is not. There's no in between. It can't be partially true. You can't be partially pregnant, partially non-pregnant. If the Torah happened at a time in the past, then it is true. God gave it to us. If it did not happen, then we've been killed and brutalized, tortured, raped, had our children kidnapped for no reason other than some divine joke. I don't believe in that. I believe that we are a chosen nation, that God chose us, and that as a light unto the world, we have to teach the Gentile world the ways of the Torah. And the first and foremost lesson that we teach a child is the lesson that we have to teach the whole world, and that is, Hear, O Israel, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. God is our personal life and strength. That means that God oversees us, that in every phase of our life, God is watching and caring about everything that we do. Everything you do is counted. Every prayer, every word that you say brings God infinite delight. The same is true for the children especially. And this God, who cares about each and every one of us, and I'll tell you what, each and every one of his creatures is special to him as well. This God is one. What does it mean that God is one? It doesn't just mean a single force. It means that everything in existence, from the largest gallery and super gallery cluster to the smallest subatomic particle that exists in the reaches of the universe, are all accounted for and are all one with God's knowledge. And since God and his knowledge are one, everything is one with God. When we say that God is one, we're saying that everything that exists is included in God's oneness. And everything has divinity in it. Not just the Torah, and not just the Tefillin, but everything about you. That is why everything about you and I has to be governed by these very, very special laws called the halacha, the laws of the Torah.